Hello, dear friends. How are you? Happy Sunday. My name is Yasmin. I am a spiritual healing coach. I'm an intuitive as well. I do karmic clearings and all sorts of healing. And I wanted to just come on today to chat with you briefly about some things that were on my mind that I wanted to put out regarding how to heal yourself. If you're suffering any illnesses, going through a really hard time with your health, how you can use this work to heal yourself. Sorry, you guys. I'm in by the beach and there's a lot of noise, so please excuse the background noise. But yeah, I'm in beautiful Cali, my home. So it's a beautiful day out today, and I just kind of was thinking to do a video. So I want to talk to you about how you can actually heal yourself with spiritual karmic clearing work. Now, the type of work that I do and specialize in is doing karmic healing and clearing in multi dimensions. Okay, so we're not clearing you, we're healing you, your soul. We're working on your soul to heal. Why is your soul suffering? Why is your soul creating a crisis? We go back in from the beginning of your soul's creation to as far back as that to figure out where the issue came from, right? So anyway, if you want any more information about the type of work I do, DM me, send me a message. I'll be free to answer questions. I just want to kind of get into the video. If you've been struggling with any illness or anything to health related, now I want to say this so I don't get in trouble, but I am not a medical doctor. Maybe a spiritual one, but I'm not a medical doctor. I do recommend that you also work with your doctor if you're experiencing anything with your health, which is what I'm doing as well. So we're talking about issues of the soul. All right. So when there is an illness and you're going through an illness, right? Any illness, there has to be a root cause somewhere where why did you bring this illness in? What is the soul? Why did the soul create this? You guys can say, oh, well, it's just something I got from my family. Well, okay. Well, maybe that's a factor, right? It's in your DNA. There's a lot of things that can contribute to an illness, right? And I'm talking about myself because I've been doing a lot of work on myself to heal an illness. And I've been sick for the past, well, according to the doctor, I've been sick for a very long time, dealing with an autoimmune, and I developed a lung condition because of because of an illness that I had. My body couldn't fight it, and then it turned into just spiraled, right? But anyway, so I've been using my own healing therapies on myself to dissolve an illness, to dissolve this illness that I have, right? Everything can be healed. Of course, your doctor is not going to want to tell you that because they don't know. They only deal with the physical, right? But everything can be healed because there's a spiritual karmic root why you are sick. Sometimes a lot of what made you sick could be emotional issues. It could be unresolved traumas, mostly emotional, mental traumas, wounding of the soul. It's a soul crisis, right? And so when I did I'm just going to give you an example. When I did my own healing, because I've healed people, I've done healings for people when they have illnesses, and a lot of them don't ever have to come see me again. So it just depends, right? So for me, I asked why am I going through this? For example, I kept getting a lot of infections, right? Infection after infection. There was a virus that just would not clear. no matter what I did to take medicine, it would not clear, right? And anytime you deal with any illness, that means there is a conflict behind that illness that the body or the soul is trying to resolve, right? A conflict. So when I did my own healing, it showed, I was like, why, no matter what, I can't clear this virus. It felt like a cold or something like that. It would just not go away. So I did clearing on myself, and I found what's the root cause of this, infection. So it was interesting. There was a lot of things connected to my past life, and there was things that my soul was trying to resolve. So a virus there's always a conflict behind this virus. And so as soon as I cleared the conflict and the karmic roots attached to that, boom, guess what happened? I got well. Started getting well within 3 days. So definitely, yes, it works. Every single time I did a healing session on myself and I started dissolving the karmic roots of where this illness, what's behind this, take this illness and break it down. What is it created? Why is it there? Right? It started going away. It started leading me to, say, the right practitioners, because when it comes to health, you can't just clear. There's not one treatment to heal your health. You got to also work with different practitioners, right? With your doctor, with maybe a homeopath, doing the spiritual clearing work to dissolve why the spirit brought this in. Why are you attracting this illness? What is behind the illness? Because everything begins in the spirit realm, right? Everything could be ancestral. In my case, with the autoimmune, it was actually linked to my ancestors. Okay, my mother's father's side, 5 generations down, is where the freaking autoimmune issue. It's just a conflict. It's a conflict that needed to be resolved. Okay. And there was also, it was ancestral. It gets triggered by your environment as well, right? There was also, what else? It was a betrayal behind that. And what else? It was a lot of stuff connected to it. As soon as I started to heal it and dissolve it, boom, my body started responding, because your soul's connected to your body. So whatever you do in the spirit realm to fix it, it heals the body. Your body receives the healing and things change. So if you're interested, or if you want to do any type of work to heal, to dissolve an illness, I recommend this type of work, because we get to the root of the problem. A lot of healing modalities out there. I don't want to list them because I don't want drama with other healers, but they don't get to the root. It's just very surface level, energy balancing, sending energy here. That's not going to get to the root of the problem, right? So if you want to help yourself and get down to the root of why you experience that, I find that every time I do a healing on myself, it leads me to another, to the solution, right? And so I have literally transformed my health. Using my own healing method, my own spiritual karmic clearing method, because everything has a karmic root. Like I said, an illness has a karmic root. Why are you taking on an illness? What is going on? And a lot of times with autoimmune, if you've dealt with narcissist abuse, if you dealt with a lot of trauma over the years, it's going to, of unresolved trauma, of just constant stress on your nervous system and everything, it will lead you down that path. It will weaken your immune system. That's spiritually, that's what I see behind the autoimmune. There's a lot of things that can be attached to that. Like I said, I'm not a doctor, But in what I see when I channel, when I ask spirit where these what's attached to this illness, that's what it is. And I've been going to town, clearing myself, just clearing, healing. And let me tell you, if it wasn't been for my healing, I don't know if I would have still been here, because it literally started to work as like it never fails. I always start to feel way better, because if the conflict isn't there, if then you can heal, right? And so also a lot of times illnesses, you're being blocked with healing because there's entity issues attached to your health, right? So you got to remove those entities. And a lot of times the entities, there's a root cause of why they're there. They're just a symptom, not the cause. So if you remove those, then you will heal even faster, okay? Anyway, if you are interested in doing spiritual clearing work around your health, and you're struggling with some sort of illness and not healing fast enough, there's probably some karmic clearing you have to do to unblock your healing, okay? To make sure you are healing. We can come up with a lot of blocks, that stand in our way of even accepting healing, of even taking the pill or finding the right solutions to your health. So because of lifetimes that we have of just blocks and programs, and we remove all that, and once you remove all that, you can actually start healing. So hope I didn't confuse you. I can do more videos on this. I just kind of wanted to let you know that there is hope, and there is solutions to your health, to healing your illnesses in your health. And so just in closing, I just want to say, again, I'm not a doctor. In my case, I work with my doctor, I work with my homeopath, and I also heal myself. It's a treatment, okay? But I find it very effective, because if you heal the root cause of why in the spirit, everything begins in the spirit and the emotions and everything, and then it manifests into reality. So if you're fighting an illness here, most likely you have something going on. When I say up there, it just means your spirit, okay? In the spirit realm. So once we clear up that mess and we find out, clear the roots, your health is going to get a lot better, okay? Let me tell you, I've helped people with depression. They never came back to me anymore. Clients were clinical psychologists, were my clients that work with people with, and they all have great things to say about the work that I do. So if you guys are interested in my work, or just have questions, DM me. If you want to book a free a free chat, we can get on a call and figure out if you want to work together. Up in my bio on this page, you'll find a link, okay, where you can book a free call with me. And yeah, all right guys, take care. Happy Sunday.